What's going on, guys? It's Cliffy here, and welcome back to a brand new series that I'm hopefully going to be running on the channel about one time a week. And it is called What If Such and Such, insert team name here, played in a different league. So really, I wanted to do this ideally with the Perth Scorchers in the IPL because they are the most successful BBL team going around. I think with 3 titles in the space of 7 years. But I don't think all the IPL teams have been done just yet. So I've gone with a bit of New Zealand flair, New Zealand flavour. We've got our Northern Knights t-shirt here. Obviously the current Burger King Super Smash champions. They're going to be going across the ditch, across the Tasman, and they're going to be playing in place of the Melbourne Stars who finished last in the Big Bash League in this current season. And it is essentially just to see how they would fare in a season over there. Now, we do have a pretty good Knights side, I must say, before we do go and get started. It's got all the international players in there. So Sodi's in there, Santner's in there, Southey's in there, Bolt's in there, Tim Seifert's in there, the 2020 keeper, BJ Watling, obviously the Test keeper, Kane Williamson is in the side as well. So they do have a fairly strong side. So it'll be interesting to see how they go in this tournament here. Now, if you guys have got other suggestions of teams that you would like to see me do, let me know down below in the comments. I did mention that Perth Scorchers one in the IPL. That is one I'm definitely going to be doing, and probably going to do the Auckland Aces in the same as this in the Big Bash League, because they are the most successful 2020 champions over here in New Zealand. I think they have won it 4 times. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But what we're going to do is just basically go simulate all when it comes to each round. Go and have a quick look at the scorecard and just see who is standing out. And essentially by the end, we are going to see how they go and, well, basically what they can do. If you guys think that the Knights can finish in the top 4, let me know in the poll up in the top right hand corner. That will just be popping up there now. But let's go and just start simulating, see how things go. It'll be very interesting to see how it does happen. So to start things off, they have lost their first game by 36 runs, which is not ideal. They scored 8 for 138, chasing 174. John O'Wells was 72 not out there. Santner with 48. And we will just quickly go and have a look at that team. So as I said, Seifer, Watling's there, Williamson with a duck, Brownlee, Defsich, Corey Anderson back in the mix as well, Santner with 48, Sodi with 19. So they were really the only contributors. So not the greatest of starts, it must be said, for the Knights after this first round. Now, we'll just quickly go and have a look at these other ones here. So 100, well, the Heat did pretty well, to be fair. The Bash trio, with Joe Burns in there as well. The Sixers beating my Hurricanes, which is not ideal, doing it quite comfortably in the end as well. And the Renegades beating the Scorchers in a high-scoring contest over in, I was going to say over in the West, but it was actually at Etihad. Aaron Finch with 84 of those runs. So, not the greatest of starts, but now we have gone back across the ditch over to New Zealand. We're hoping that the Knights can go and pick up their first win, which they haven't been able to do. So this experiment is already looking as though it could be a bit of a failure. They've lost to the Heat. Heat, the only unbeaten side in the tournament now, but by 3 wickets. So a bit of a better performance with the bat was 7 for 173, but they were chased down with 3 balls left to spare. Chris Lynn just doing what Chris Lynn does, 71 off 27. That is absolutely impressive by him. Williamson getting some runs on the board this time, as was Watling, but the bowler's just not really getting the job done. Trent Bolt, 2 for 47, probably off his 4 overs, I would say. My Hurricanes get their first win on the board. 218 is what they scored. Man, this is a high-scoring game at Bloodston, it must be said. Colin Ingram, 80 not out, but falling 16 runs short. Still scoring 200. So 420 runs actually scored in the 20 overs there. The Thunder beat the Renegades at the Etihad. Wow, chase that down rather easily as well. We've had a couple of close games, but we have had some games that have been real blowouts as well. And there's another one there. Ty doing what he does best, 3 for 15. Off of, I would imagine, I'm not going to go in and check, but I'm guessing off of his 4 overs. So, next they head to Bloodston. Oh, there we go. Brilliant. All right. They got the win. They've got the first win of the tournament. It's against the Hurricanes, which is a bit disheartening for me, but it does see them jump up into 5th position. They win by 8 wickets, chasing it down very well. Dean Brownlee, 68. He has been very good this tournament, it must be said, and 68 as well. Both not out from Williamson. So they're good to see the captain going and putting some work in. And Southey, again, has probably been the standout bowler for the Knights in this tournament so far. Next, we've got the Heat, who stay unbeaten, 3-0. Jesus Christ, Chris Lynn, what a tournament he is having. 100 not out off of 53 deliveries, powering his side to 219. They win by 30 runs. And the Heat do look very, very dangerous in this here. The Strikers win on the second to last ball. Jono Wells had a good tournament too. I think that's his second score of 60 plus inside the space of the first 3 rounds. And the Thunder have won the Sydney Derby by 7 wickets. So as I said, we have had some games that are fairly close, and we've had some games that have just been absolute blowouts, and teams have been really one-sided. But the Knights have got their first win on the board. They're going back to Seddon Park, taking on the Renegades, currently in 7th position, and they have once again dropped down to the bottom of the table. So I guess that just shows the difference in quality between the Australian, I don't want to really call them franchises, but the Australian 2020 clubs that have been set up and the New Zealand 2020 clubs that we've got. Obviously, both tournaments are played at a similar time. Just falling 3 runs short there, man. Disappointing. Southey once again on the board with another wicket, but Cam White, 91 not out off of 51 deliveries. Great job by him. The Hurricanes winning a big one by 49 runs at Perth. Benny McDermott, 90 not out for him. And that'll be good. Good for the Canes. Gets them up inside the top 4. The Sixers have beaten the Heat, giving them their first loss. I was going to say, if that was Chris Lynn up the top there again, he only managed 22. Dan Hughes is 90 not out of 50 deliveries. They get there with an over and a little bit of change left. And the Thunder carrying on their good form. I think after losing the first game, they've now won 3 on the trot. They're doing a great job. The Knights, however, not so much. Not so much. They are only, in fact, 1 win outside of the top 4, and they're going to need a big win here against the Scorchers in round number 5, which is not what they have been able to do. And you'd have to say that the semi-finals for them is probably out of the question now with just 2 rounds remaining. The Renegades, Jesus, win by 80 runs. But once again, Santner providing with the bat, Southey providing with the ball, Anderson, Williamson. It has just been, you know, there's been contributions, but the bowling just hasn't quite been there. The Renegades win by 80. Jesus Christ, that is a huge win. Finchy, 111 off 57 for him. Both are really the lone ranger for the Sixers with 61 not out. The Hurricanes beat the Thunder, so inflict their second win, get the Heat back on top of the table by 20 runs. Darcy Short, 93. He's carried his BBL form over into this tournament here. And the Heat are back up in control. McCullum this time, 77. So the Bash Bros are definitely getting the job done. They've won it with 3 overs left to spare. 2 games left to go. We're hoping we can go and get another win with the Knights. They're heading back to Seddon Park. It's going to be the Pink Derby, is what I'm going to call it, between themselves and the Sixers, and that is exactly what they have gone and done. Still a mathematical chance of making the finals places, but you probably would bet against them, just depending on other results. But they win by 6 wickets. They score 4 for 182, and Watling again in the runs, Brownlee in the runs, and Ish Sodhi, 2 for 22. Trent Bolt has picked up wickets, but he has gone for runs, 2 for 50, which is very surprising from him. The Scorchers beat the Thunder by 31 runs, thanks to Ashton Turner's 69 not out. Ben Roy, Jesus Christ, 91 of the 126 runs. That is absolutely crazy. The Strikers, you'd probably say, are now out of finals contention, with the Renegades probably securing themselves a spot with 1 over left to go, winning that there. And the Heat have definitely secured their spot with a 9-wicket win over the Hurricanes. Brendan McCullum, 94 not out for him, 49 not out for Joe Burns, and they have put on an absolute clinic up there at the Gabba. 1 round left to go, and it is quite interesting that we are taking on the Sydney Thunder, because a win against them, I think, possibly could see us sneak inside the top 4, but it'll be very interesting. I don't think with their early season form that we will manage to go and, oh my God, we did manage to go and do it, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I think we've just lost out potentially on net run rate, but the Knights finished the season quite strong with back-to-back wins. 3 and 4 isn't too bad, considering, I guess, the closeness of the teams in this tournament. Corey Anderson getting some runs, Anderson getting some wickets as well. Damn, man of the match performance. 45 not out and 3 for 36. You can't ask really for too much more than that. The Sixers and the Strikers battling it out for the wooden spoon. The Sixers have gone and got the job done there. Botha has had a really good tournament, it must be said, with the bat. And the Scorchers actually beat the Heat. Wow, McCullum 66 again, Pearson 66 not out, Voges 66 not out, and Ashton Turner 65. Man, the amount of 66s going on there is absolutely crazy, but they've won with an over and a little bit of change left to go. The Hurricanes miss out on the finals place as well, thanks to the Renegades. They've been in good form, it must be said, and a bit sad that I guess both of my teams haven't gone and made it into the semis in the form of the Hurricanes and the Knights, who are our trial team, our experiment team in this video. Just having a look, it is net run rate that they have missed out on. To be fair, if it was a little bit worse, they could have dropped down, dropped down into 6. So they have just managed to go and miss out, which is a real shame. And I always do this. And other people do this as well. When they're doing tournaments, they go to try and exit out of the stats, and they go back into the competition menu, which is a real pain in the ass, to be fair. But that's all right. So we should now have, I was going to say, the finals, which we will simulate. Well, Jesus Christ, the Thunder beat the Heat. And the Scorchers. So it's 3 and 4 playing off in the final. And how can you actually tell who's won that? It is the Thunder, thanks to a 95 not out from Joss Butler. And they win. That is a very one-sided final, especially against the Scorchers, who are such a good team. We did talk about it earlier on in this episode. But that is our tournament, I guess. That is our experiment of what if the Northern Knights played in the Big Bash League. Not too bad, to be fair. Finished 5th, just missing out on a final spot. And had they managed to sneak into 4th place, I mean, we saw the Thunder win it, and they did finish in 4th. So anything really could have happened. We'll just take a quick look as well at the I was going to say, there we go, the stats. Just have a look at leading run scorers. So Cam White, he was so impressive, it must be said. 430 runs, just miles ahead of everyone else. And the best Northern Districts batsman all the way down here at the bottom of the page, Dean Brownlee, 243 runs with 250s, Watling 226. And apart from that, no one really contributed with the bat. A few guys down here, obviously Santner, Tim Seifert, Anderson and Williamson are there as well. And when it came to the bowling, this was a little bit better. Southey with 10 wickets in 7 games. It would be quite interesting to see how he would go in the Big Bash if he did manage to play for a team, I guess, somewhere along the line. Because he's a pretty good 2020 bowler, pretty good death bowler, it must be said. Trent Bolt is down there as well, rounding out the first page. But then apart from that, Corey Anderson with 5, your all-rounder, you don't really want him being your 3rd top wicket taker. But that is what has happened, and I've once again gone and bloody done it. So the Knights finish the BBL season in 5th position, just missing out on the semi-finals. Do you guys think that is a success or a failure for their first season in the league? Let me know down below in the comments. And if there are other teams you would like to see me try out in another league, do let me know. Because, I mean, this video, well, not this video, this series as such has basically endless potential. So I've already gone through, I've got the Scorchers, and then I've got the Auckland Aces playing in the BBL. But if there's something else you guys want to see me, maybe an IPL team playing in the BBL, or a Pakistani Super League team playing in the IPL or the BBL, do let me know down below in the comments. This really is up to you guys which teams you would like to see. And the team that I guess has the most support is the one that I'll go to into next week's episode. But do hope you've enjoyed it. Something a little bit different. It was quite fun for me to record, and I guess just do this little experiment. So if you have enjoyed it, remember to drop a thumbs up, give this video a like. If you are new, please do subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, ka kite anō. See you soon.